When I was 5 years old, I met a man who could speak to the devil. Or at least that's what I thought at the time. He was a family friend who we'd see at my mum's inane university reunion holidays. I hated these things, but I always looked forward to seeing him. I remember asking my parents excitedly if we could go see the devil man as they exchanged confused looks. But before I met him, I was terrified. When my 5-year-old self would picture a devil man, I would envision a little red creature with horns and a tail holding a pitchfork, or a cloaked figure shrouded in darkness praying to a pentagram. To be honest, I was scared of being sacrificed, harvested for my youthful blood. But then I met him, and I was shocked to see a middle-aged, bespectacled father of 2, very normal children standing in front of me. It's hardly my fault for assuming that my family friend was going to kidnap me, as this view of Satanists is incredibly common. In fact, if I had to guess, I'd say that the opening line of my speech made some of you slightly worried about how I'd been brought up, or the types of people my parents were friends with. But why do we have this wholly negative perception of Satanists? What is it about them that makes us feel so uncomfortable, clutch at our pearls, dust off an old Bible? Well, it's easy to pin the blame on Hollywood, as they've been spinning this narrative of Satanists ever since the late 1960s, with the release of Rosemary's Baby, a film where a woman is not only married to a deranged Satanist, but she is also about to give birth to the Antichrist. The film was obviously a critical and commercial success and ushered in a new wave of devil-obsessed horror movies in the 70s, like The Exorcist, The Omen, and the Amityville Horror, all of which gaining major popularity and acclaim. These movies carved out a distinct image of Satanists as crazed lunatics who are hell-bent on bringing back the devil himself to walk the earth. But these movies are just that. They're movies. They follow grand supernatural escapades that are designed to entertain an audience for 2 hours or so. They aren't real, are they? Well, it depends on who you ask, as these wholly fictional, campy horror movies are credited as bringing about a period of so-called satanic panic in America during the 1980s. Conspiracy theories ran wild during this decade, and it appeared that the devil was not only real, but on your doorstep, waiting for you, or worse, your children. These conspiracy theories had very real consequences, as 12,000 people were put on trial in America on grounds of satanic ritual abuse, many of these cases being wholly unjustified and being based on nothing but intuition. So, now my fears make a lot of sense. Even if I didn't know about the satanic panic specifically, I knew that I was supposed to be afraid of Satanists. They were scary people who were put in scary movies. But before I go on, I really ought to admit that I've lied. My family friend couldn't actually speak to the devil. He was just a member of the Satanic Temple, which on the surface sounds just as sinister. But I assure you it's not. The Satanic Temple is a completely a-religious organization of people who do not believe on the existence of the devil in any physical level. They merely perceive him as a metaphor for their beliefs, which are, in a bit of an anticlimax, really rather normal. They believe in treating people with benevolence and empathy and opposing tyrannical authority. They even run charity programs, do after-school clubs, and advocate for civil rights. The Satanic Temple isn't blind to its inherent irony. In fact, it thrives off of it. So, now this begs the question, how can these two wholly different perceptions of Satanists exist at once? The answer, I suppose, lies in what you believe. To some, the devil is the complete personification of evil. He's as bad as you can get. But for others, he is merely a metaphor for opposing authority. He is the ultimate rebel. So, in this period of increasingly dubious truth, where the line between fact and fiction is constantly blurred, you have to ask yourself, what do you believe? I know I did when I met Michael, my mum's university friend. The devil I know.